Do you all have
We all
girlfriends?
have
We have girlfriends.
Okay, so scouting for girls is still something that you do?
Well, yeah, you're always looking. No, it's like the name was actually like it's a metaphor for growing up. It's from the original, like a scout manual, like Boy Scout manual, was called Scouting for Boys, and the idea is changing it to Scouting for Girls is like it's when you go from being a boy to being an adult to where you go from
childish things,
campfire
like
Boy
building.
Scouts and campfires and also we wanted to have a scout reference because me and Pete met when we were in Cubs Scouts when we were about 6, and going from there, and then when you start looking for girls, it's like that transition, that rites of passage,
falling in love.
Yeah.
So Pete, when was this transition?
Oh,
He never went through it.
It hasn't changed. I don't think it's happened yet. But no, it's one of the things. It's like life, isn't it? Growing up and you do discover girls and you start drinking and all that, having a good time, rather than doing sensible stuff.
That's what our album's really about. It's like first jobs. It's sort of, I think maybe also when you sort of wake up at like early 20s, mid 20s, and you suddenly realise that you're not a football player, you're not a professional football player, you're not an astronaut, or you're not doing the things you always dreamed about that you were going to be doing as a kid, and you were just working in a shop, or not maybe following the things which you wanted to do. And I think that happened to us when we were sort of early 20s.
Was it hard? Was it hard that realization, or was it just also good for you because then I am not a football player? Was it hard, that realization?
I don't think it was hard. I mean, because we've always been playing music, that's kind of given us just something that keeps you happy, and we fully understood that we still had to work in our little jobs, but you have to do these things to get along.
It's character building.
Yeah.
But we've always, we've been putting out music ourselves on our own record. Like we started putting out Scout Girls in about 2005, just on our own record label, and we started selling out gigs and selling out our own nights before we actually got a record deal.
Yeah.
And then, and we know that when we lose the big record label deal, which every band does, then we'll still go back and putting out our own records. It's what we do. It's what a band does, isn't it? It goes out and plays, it writes music and puts it out. And these days you can do all that without a big record label. Obviously it makes it, without a big record label, there's no chance I'd be here in Amsterdam.
That's true, but what is then? You were saying this album is about realization. I read somewhere that you said, Roy, that it's an album. It's about the loss of innocence.
Yeah.
So what is then Scouting for Girls is meaning that transition from being a boy into a man.
Yeah.
But the next stage then, because I don't think you can be in this stage forever. So what will be the next stage, maybe then music-wise too, but also in the way you perceive the world?
I think, it'd be an interesting, because this album, I don't really want to start talking about where we want to go for the next album, because
it's just one
quick
ideas
for it, but because this album was really putting together this whole package, like the whole idea of Scouting for Girls, in terms of it worked really well with our personalities, how we are on stage, the songs, everything sort of worked well together. And I know there's only so far you could go thematically with that, or you could always stay. I think there's bands who've always done it, but I think I don't know.
We're working on the direction we'll be moving into, but it'll still be of a common Scouting for Girls theme, just with some new little sidelines to it as well.
Not death metal.
Death metal.
Death metal could be
Pop stroke death metal.
Beatle death metal.
Yeah.
Beatle, yeah.
She loves you, yeah.
Death Beatle. That's true, yeah. Or maybe then just death Beatle metal.